Changing your Windows 10 password. This is a short video aimed at seniors and anybody new to Windows 10. Everything that's going to be presented to you in this video is meant to be as simple as possible. I'll also try to use some comparisons and some analogies to help illustrate the objectives. I may show you one or two ways to complete a given task, but keep in mind there's probably more ways to do the same operation. So today we're going to look at the Windows logon password. The Windows logon password is the password that you're going to get when you first start up your computer. This is the very first thing you're going to see when Windows finishes loading. If you don't see the logon screen, your computer is probably configured to go straight to the desktop. I recommend that you do change your password. And we're going to show you in this video how you can do that. Okay, so when you're talking about Windows passwords, there's a couple of things that you need to know. Easy passwords are easy to crack. If it's a regular, everyday word or name that you're using for a password, likelihood it's already in a hacker's dictionary. Things like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or your dog's name, or your spouse's name, the street you grew up on, are all considered bad passwords. All right. Most password cracking softwares makes many tries based on everyday words and names. So simple passwords are just too easy for the hacker to figure out now. So how do we get around that? Well, what we do is we use a thing called complex passwords. A complex password has upper and lowercase letters, it has numbers and special characters. It has the letters A to Z, all the uppercase letters and all the lowercase letters. It has numbers 0 through 9 and as many of them as you like. Special characters, like the top row on your computer, the exclamation, the @ sign, the pound sign, the dollar sign, all of those are valid characters and they all help make up a complex password. Let me show you what I mean. So a simple password or an easy password is password. To make it complex, we do something like this. We use our imagination and we substitute some special characters and numbers for where the letters were. Okay, you can see what I've done here. It looks like password, but we've substituted a few numbers and a few letters. Here's a more tougher one, and you would think because this one here is a little phrase all by itself that it would be strong enough to keep the bad guys out, but really it isn't, because it's really just made up of small common words that you're going to find in any dictionary. Okay, so to make that complex, we do something like this to it. Again, it's just our imagination. We're going to find numbers and letters that we can substitute to make it complex so that a common dictionary isn't going to have that on file. Okay, now when we look at something like this one here is a little bit on the tough side. I wouldn't really consider this one to be a good choice for a Windows logon password, but I would consider it a good choice for a banking password. Okay, I wouldn't suggest this to be for an email password as either, again, but for your banking password or something very high confidential that you're using, this would be an awesome password. Okay, so it is very complex, it's long, it has the mixture of characters, an ideal password for banking, but not so much for a Windows logon password or an email password. We want something a little bit simpler for that. So that takes us to something like this. We want to still be of all the qualities of a complex password, but we want to do it as simple as possible. So what we did is we've taken this password of Canada 2020, and all we've done is change two things about it. First, we've changed all the letter A to @signs, and I've changed the number 0 to the lowercase o. That's it. And it makes it easy to remember. It's complex, and it's 8-digit more, at least 8 digits long, and it's considered a complex password and would act as so, okay? But again, it makes it so much easier for us to remember. So then it brings us to my next thing I want to talk about is how many passwords you should have. Well, the rule of thumb is you probably want about 3 of them, okay? You're going to want a password for your computer to log on to, you're going to want a password for your email, and you're going to want a password for your banking. And you never want them all to be the same. You want them all to be different from each other. So again, you're going to want at least 3 passwords. Another great thing to have is your antivirus up to its current definition file and your firewalls turned on. Okay, you have 2 firewalls. One is on your network where your internet comes in, and the second one is in Windows. Windows has its own firewall, so you want to make sure they're both turned on and that your antivirus is running and is up to date. Keeping track of your passwords doesn't have to be very difficult. You can write them down on a notepad. You can put a file on your computer, keep track of the website, the username, and the password that's applicable to that account. Or finally, you can get yourself a download software that you can keep on your telephone or on your computer. It's a password saver or a password vault. Some come with a cost, some are free. I've used both. The ones that come at a cost I didn't find had much better features than the free ones. So, again, there's something there that you could use to save your passwords on. Finally, the last thing I want to talk to you about is never share your password with anybody. It will surely compromise your account. If somebody, your systems administrator or a technician, somebody contacts you and says that they need your password to access your account, chances are 9 times out of 10 they're trying to fool you. Okay, I've been a systems engineer and a systems administrator for over 20 years. I don't need that information to be able to help you as a user on my account. If I need to be you on the network and in your computer, I have the power as the administrator that I could change your password to anything I want it to be and log on as you. And then when I'm done, give you the opportunity to change things back to something new or what you could remember in the past. Okay, I don't need to know what your password is to do this. All right. So finally, that's going to take us down to why we came here in the first place. We want to change our Windows logon password. So I'm going to show you 2 different ways on how to do that. And the first way is what we call the 3-finger salute. And what we're going to do is cover the Control key, the Alt key, and the Delete key at the same time, and then give them all a press, all at the same time. When we do that, it's going to bring us to a new page with a menu on it. And the 4th option down is change your password. So let's click on that. So it brings us to this page where we're going to change our password. It's going to ask us what our old password is, and then we're going to have to paste in or type in our new password twice. Once to put it in and a second time to confirm it. And Windows is just making sure that you typed it in properly. So it's asking you to do it twice. So let's type in our first password. In this case here, and then let's use a complex password. Okay, so we're going to show you down here. My password up here, I moved a little bit too fast. It was simply 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, I just used a simple, easy password, and we're changing that to a complex password. Okay, and so me as a systems administrator, I like really complicated passwords, and I don't mind showing you this one here because I just made it up. All right, so for the sake of this demonstration, I'm going to change my password from 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 to this new string here. Okay, the way I'm going to do that is just, as I say, type in the old password, type in my new password, type in my new password again, and then I'm going to click on this little arrow sign right here. When we click on that, it comes back and tells me that my password has been changed, and I'm going to acknowledge that with an OK. So right now, my password when we first started this video was 12345678, and now we've changed it to that complex password that I just showed you. No point in me rattling it off for you. I'm going to show you the second and final way now to change your password. And it's really easy. The way you do it is come down here beside the, down the bottom left-hand corner, beside the start button, you have a search box down here. Type the word password, capitalized password this time, Password. When you do that, the very first thing that comes up is change your password. So let's click on that. It brings us to this screen that has our change your account password button on it. So let's go ahead and click on that. So the first thing it's going to ask us is, what is our password? So this one here is, now that I've already changed it to that complicated password, I'm going to type that in here now. Okay, and let's go take a look at it. Okay, so that's that complicated password that I used. You know, that's just me and my sick brain, okay? I like really complicated passwords. I like really, really long ones. But again, I've been doing this a long, long time. You don't have to be this complicated, okay? So let's click on next. And now it's going to ask us to put in our new password. So let's type in a new password. Okay, so what I've done is I've changed the password from that super complicated one to this password here. I'm not going to show you what it is because I want to leave it this way. But just be rest assured that this is a complex password, and then I've used the hint, who am I? Okay, so this password is related to who am I? Okay, so anyway, for the sake of this, we're just going to carry on. I'm going to say next. All right, it says to change your password. Next time you sign in, use your new password. So this is telling us right now that it has changed our password to what we want it to be. Okay, so I'm going to click on finish and close up this window, and that's it. Doesn't take really much more than that to change your passwords. If you fool around with Windows a little bit, I bet you'll find a couple of other ways that you can accomplish the same task. Maybe a couple of ways that'll take you to the same windows, maybe a little bit different windows. So you can see in this example, I took you to two different places to change the password. So anyway, thanks for watching with us today. Thanks for hanging out to the end. I really appreciate it. And come again, see us again in some of our future videos. Thanks a lot. Have a great day. Bye now.